Tonight's podcast is sponsored by Field Agent Canada. Find them at www.fieldagentcanada.com. Welcome to This Commerce Life. We are an unscripted podcast dedicated to small businesses and entrepreneurs in the retail and consumer packaged goods space in Canada and the United States.
I am Phil Chang, co-host and co-founder.
And I'm Kenny Vanucci, co-host and co-founder of This Commerce Life.
Our love is the journey to retail, and our passion is sharing that with you every week.
Sorry,
Hello.
I had to run downstairs to get my power cord.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Hey, boys.
How are you?
Good. I'm just going to turn you up here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Where are you?
Can you see me? Uh-oh.
Nah.
I'm
Johnny
not
boy. Come on.
What the heck? How
It
do I
is
do-
okay.
Now you got to click a bunch of buttons. What the hell? This is we need the tech. That's why we have Phil on the podcast. He'll tell you what buttons to push. Because there you are.
There you are. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Phil.
Yeah.
How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
I'm
I
doing
get to
very
listen
well.
to you once in a while. That's as close as I get to you.
It's close enough. I mean, how much closer do you really want to be? Really?
Well, I wouldn't mind another coffee. That was good.
Well, you know what? Once our weather calms down, I'll meet you halfway. I'll even come up toward you.
That sounds
Not
good.
all the way to you. That's a
I
little
know.
too far.
I know.
Although I
Well,
could
good.
do it. Maybe my daughter lives in Chilliwack right now, so maybe it could.
That's perfect then. I could show you the warehouse, give you a little tour.
Actually, no, but maybe I will do that.
Wait, how far away are you? Kenny gets really grouchy about going far away from the house.
It's about an hour and a little bit.
Oh, that's not far.
It's an hour actually. If there's no traffic, and I can die by the end of the day. But like coming out of East Vancouver, nothing's really that problematic. I just, past Burnaby, like I need a passport. Like people in East Van don't leave East Van. Like, we just get all uptight when we have to go too far, bridges and shit.
I'm in Toronto, and last time he came out here, we went to see our friend Mark, and he's an hour away, and we got 20 minutes into the drive, and he complains for the next 40 minutes, right? Like the next 40 minutes is just, how far are we going? Like, I got to go all the way where?
If I drive an hour out of the city to eat, I'm eating at John's.
But he wasn't even driving. I was driving. All you had to do was sit.
That's too far.
Yeah,
Mark should have come to us.
Yeah, you see? Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know if you want him out there. All you're going to get is this. So
no, he knows I'll drive out. I'll come out and see him. It'll be a nice drive.
Maybe you've got a cream for that, though. Have you got a cream for?
I can calm him down.
He's got lavender.
Yeah, I have a lavender farm. He can roll in the lavender.
Oh, wait till you hear the story, Phil. There's a very cool story around this. So you got
bring it on. I like this. This.
You know what? We'll go right into it pretty much. So John Forde's on the show today. John you're not physiotherapy? I'm going to get this wrong.
So basically, I was trained as an RMT back in 1992. I became a sports therapist around the same time, and then it's just progressed from there. And at the end of it, I'm an owner of multiple clinics who have physiotherapy, chiropractic, massage therapy, kinesiology, naturopathic, the whole thing.
As well as he's got a line of natural pain relief products. He also has a cool lavender farm, which you'll see what he does with the lavender farm once we get into this conversation. So John's got a lot of cool shit going on. When he says sports, he was, because there's a story around that too, which I won't spoil. He'll tell you the hockey team that he might have been a part of helping out. So there's a really cool story. So I'm super excited to have John on, as you can tell. So next 45 an hour, buddy.
Let's do it.
Tell the story. Let's go, and then we'll get into the product because I want to know where P3's at and what's going on with it as well. So,
well, how in depth do we want to get? I started out as an athlete. I started out as an athlete because I think it really comes down to how you begin your life in this journey.
For sure.
Goal setting and striving for excellence, and that was taught to me by amazing coaches. So I think I was 16. I made my first BC team, then the national team right after that, and I competed in track and field, and so that set the stage for this disciplined work ethic kind of individual that I still am, and I love that. I love practicing. I love working at things and moving forward. So I was on the national team back in 87, 88, 89, 90. From there, the doctor on our team was Dr. Doug Clement. So, when the doctor's on your team, the doctor. I graduate from there, or I don't grad. I get injured from there. I go to school, become a therapist. Turns out that the Vancouver Canucks, who one of their doctors, Dr. Doug Clement, Dr. Ross Davidson, they need a new therapist. So, well, he knows Johnny because I was on the team. So, is there a great myth to being some fantastic therapist to work for the Canucks? No,
yes. Stay with the myth.
Yeah, and of course that does, you do get great work, and you learn a lot. The triage work is amazing. You're taking guys off the ice, you're working on the injuries right then and there. You're dealing with everything known to man because it's happening so quickly. So that's kind of set the stage for this ability to work with pain on a daily basis. And I was just in it, and working with, that was in 1993. So this goes way back to Pavel Bure and, Gino Ojek and Trevor Linden, Kirk McLean, and all the fantastic people I got to work with there. And I got to say, they're all fantastic humans. They were just great guys, and took me in like part of the team. It was great. So that's where we get into the any questions you have about the 1993-94.
So players weren't healing as fast as a fan would have liked. We've got someone we can talk to.
That's exactly right.
Just hang it on you and say, hey,
hang it on me.
Hell, man.
One of the funniest stories, and I'll be really quick with this, but when I was working there was when female reporters got access to the locker rooms the night that I was working. So the door busts open and Lisa Bose from TSN comes in, and I'm like, whoa, you can't come in here. It's like naked men in here. You can't come in here. So, of course, she holds up this paper from CBC Hockey Night in Canada. She goes, oh, yes, I can. And here it is. And I'm like, well, you give me like 1 minute to tell them. They don't even know.
Yeah, they need to get dressed.
Oh, yeah. So I run over, and one of the guys, I won't say his name, he's like, oh, they want an interview? All right. Out he comes, right?
Of course, all his glory, right?
All his glory.
Birthday suit and all. And poor Lisa just looked him in the eyes the whole time. It was hilarious.
Well, good for her. You know what? Good for her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Managed him well.
No. Oh, yeah. No, she did a
Honestly,
good job. Because he was treating her like the guys treat the guys, and playing a little trick on her. But those are some of those moments that, at the time they're super stressful, but you remember them forever. These are life-changing moments in hockey, right? But that was in 93. And then I left the team in 94. 95, we moved out to the Valley. And I needed to get back into regular practice because I was, I don't know how many hours a week, 60 hours a week at the hockey team. Didn't mean I was working all the time. Now, let's be clear, I'm not working 60 hours a week. I'm just there. It's kind of a hurry up and wait for someone to get hurt.
It also means you can't be doing other things though, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely. That's what you do. You're just hanging around.
Right.
Yeah.
So we decided to make the move, buy our first house in Abbotsford, and I hooked up with a physio in Abbey. And once one of the doctors found out I was a Canucks therapist, then referrals just came like crazy. And like you say, keep up with the story. Why not? Right? Use that.
Absolutely.
And honestly, at that point, I had seen a lot, and it had only been about 2 years of practice. And from there, I moved fast forward to 1999. I opened a big clinic, and now it's I have two of the biggest clinics in the Fraser Valley, and wonderful people working with me. And my whole goal was, how do I help people? So at the time, I could only help maybe 50, 60 people a week myself. So then I bring on more people to help more people.
Right.
And that progresses right through to 2007 when we had, in the world of sport therapy, we had, unfortunately, a young lady pass away from methyl salicylate poisoning down in New York State with one of my colleagues who was working with her. And it was from topical analgesic poisoning, which was super rare. We had never heard of this before.
Never heard of that.
That's a thing?
Oh, yeah. The coroner's report came out. And then, of course, we were all told, okay, stop putting stuff on people because it can contraindicate with medications. The skin is the biggest organ, the absorption of methyl salicylate, which is essentially aspirin.
Right.
And can therefore then, if you have an aspirin allergy, It can cause complications. Unfortunately, this young lady did have an aspirin allergy, which her mother knew from baby, from when she was a baby, but didn't realize that methyl salicylate.
Yeah, but how do you put it? Yeah, it's putting it all together. I don't know what the hell's the ingredient. I'm assuming you guys would know, like someone would know, you'd think, right?
Well, and this is what we had to learn the hard way.
That's unfortunate.
Because of this terrible story. 17-year-old track athlete. Yeah.
Shit.
Wait, what year is this?
2007. You can look it up.
Wow.
It was
wow.
No, yeah. I just think because I think about, when Voltaren came out.
Yes. Yeah.
And you kind of think about how crazy we went on that, right? Because up until that point, like as a consumer, all you really had access to was things that cooled you down.
Wait, 535 and a few others, right?
Something mentally or something warming, right? Like those are really the two options, right? Or you could go herbal, but
most of the athletes in those days used DMSO. We used it for racehorses and athletes.
Yeah,
right.
That's super bad for you.
I would say that's really not
not good.
No, I think
that's it's terrible. But I think the Bengay was the one that she was using, and so the oil of wintergreen is so high. So now you mentioned Voltaren. If you look at the warnings on Voltaren, they totally changed. Like they had to change. They even lock it up in some pharmacies. It's behind the counter, and it's because of the contraindications with heart medication. That's the key.
Yeah,
if you're on a blood thinner already, and then you throw more aspirin on your body,
you're not helping yourself out.
Yeah,
it's not a helpful thing.
Wow.
So what happened then is basically a bunch of us talked, and I said, well, I know of a cream that's a natural cream that's being used by a farmer buddy of mine on udders on cows to help mastitis. And I said, you know what, let me see if I can work with him to create something that we as clinicians can use that's not going to be harmful, not going to be contraindicated with anything. So we basically, I talked to him. It's a super dry product, doesn't work, putting it on people, it pills up, it gets stuck in your hair. So then I went to the lab with him, worked on creating a product that we could use as humans on humans and have the same effect on tissue.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. And so to this day, we called it P3. I took it over as the human version of this, and I own that 100%. And now we're in over 1,000 locations across Canada without any marketing, just word of mouth. And we just started our marketing now, but that's fast forwarding to the end of the story. But really, it all came because there was a need for a product that was not going to be harmful. And that is what we as therapists, that's our whole mandate. Don't harm the public. That's our whole thing. And so I really believe that I've stuck to that. And how do we keep helping the public instead of harming the public? And this is just, for me, I can reach so many more people. My original goal was, how do I reach more than 50 people a week? Well, get bigger clinics. We keep growing. Now we're seeing 2,000 patients a month at each clinic. So we're 4,000 patients a month. But now we've got, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people using P3, and we keep getting these wonderful emails about how much it's helping them. So that keeps me moving forward throughout, achieving the goal, but then I get to keep pushing the goal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. And so the cream, because not harming the public is one thing, and I think the second one that's like really, kind of like really fast following the first one is it effective, right? Which clearly it is, right? Like, because everyone wants. Kenny and I probably, this is one category that we probably talk about, weirdly enough. We talk about this category a lot, about how outside of, like when Voltaren came out, it was almost revolutionary for the over-the-counter public, right? Because there really wasn't anything.
Well, it was all BTC.
Besides,
that was a BTC or script, but you couldn't get it, right? You had a prescription.
Yeah.
And when it hit OTC, you thought, wow, at least it opens up.
Like there's an option, right? Either you get something that smells funny, or you get Voltaren, and that's it, right? Like there's nothing else. But P3 is not only that, but it's natural, and it's and it's effective, right?
That's
so
effective. The best study, which of course you can't do a study because it's all anecdotal, doesn't work. And we've talked to different scientists, and they want to do one, but it's so hard. We really just get the opinion of the person putting it on, and the feeling is great because it lasts for an hour, so you feel it. If you put it on your sore, let's say you've got a bit of a pec tear and you're trying to work out, we massage it into that. You're going to feel it for an hour. It's going to help you through your workout, and you're going to say, oh, that felt great. Well, that doesn't help us in a study, but the best study is the fact that they put it on cows' udders, and the cows could be milked the next day. They can't talk, but they didn't complain when they were milked the next day. And that was the original, story behind it all for me. I'm like, oh, listen, if we can put it on tissue that doesn't speak back and they don't complain the next day, that tells me a lot.
And it's sensitive tissue. Like, I mean, come on, if they're not complaining, I mean, it's a cow's udder.
Cups. Yeah, I was here milking, but the suction cups are really, abrasive, right?
Yeah.
And when mastitis is there, and I've been through having a family, and we've dealt with that in our family and with humans, and it's a very painful thing. Mastitis is. So when you've got a natural product helping mastitis in an animal, you're not harming the animal for testing, but you're helping the animal through this, and you're getting a test result.
Right.
So for me, that was actually huge.
Yeah.
But to your point, how do you exploit that? Like, that's great. It's a great story. So you got to be on podcasts all day, or
that's right. Yeah.
or sitting on the street, I don't know, talking to people. Hey, you hear about the cows?
That's right. You know what the best part for me, Kenny, is that from 2007 until I haven't worked on a patient in 4 years now, but for what would that have been then? I don't know, 15 years, or I got to talk about it or use it on people. And now that all these clinics and these clinicians are using it across Canada, we're putting it on people every day. And they're asking the question, or they're saying, hey, could you use that again? Because that really helped me when I left.
Right.
Best one is, have you ever had ultrasound done anywhere, like on your knee or
no.
Knees?
So
you know how with ultrasound, you don't feel anything, right? They put the gel on, they do it, and it's like, oh, okay, I don't feel anything, but something's happening. There's a sound wave going in. So now, because P3 is a water base, it's not an oil base, and that's nice too. It doesn't stain your clothes. It doesn't. It's not greasy. It dries up within 2 minutes. But for those 2 minutes of ultrasound, you can use it because the sound wave through the water base.
Okay.
Right. We actually did a study with showing the sound wave penetrating over a foot into water. But the best part is when they're done the ultrasound, for the physio who's doing it, the patient goes, oh, that feels really nice. Well, what they're feeling is this product. They're feeling that nice, cool, mentholy feeling, right? From the peppermint oil. And the physio is like, that's right, it does, doesn't it? They feel like patting themselves on the back. So there's this, oh, I want to use it with all my ultrasound patients now because the feedback is good. Whereas before they're like, did you do anything? I just came in here and you did that.
Yeah, nothing worse than that. You see a healthcare practitioner and you're thinking, shit, I could have stayed home. I don't know what the hell I got out of that.
Exactly.
Right. So that's really it.
It is a positive. When they leave the clinic and they have a feeling for an hour, they're going, oh, that was good.
Right.
I got something.
Right.
And then if they can take it home. So the majority of our clinics are now selling, which we didn't do before as clinicians. We didn't sell. It was a big gray area, and are we allowed to sell? And what is this all about? But people can pick it up at the front desk now, and we're just starting a campaign working on how do we essentially say thank you to the front desk staff for talking about it as people leave, or thank you to the therapist for recommending it as a company. And it might be Starbucks cards. We're not sure yet what we're going to do. We're going to figure a way to say thank you to those clinics. Now, we do a great deal of business through clinics, and for me, that's our army of people that we're not paying, but they're reaching people for us because it's helping them in their practice.
They're buying into the story, obviously, and they're buying into the product. I mean, because Phil and I, because we both come from OTC buying, right? And I remember I was on the desk when Voltaren flipped over, so I knew what it was going to do to my categories. I remember when we launched Tylenol arthritis. I remember all these, either they were ingestibles or the analgesics, topical, right?
Yeah.
There's really the alternatives for pain relief are really slim. Like when all the opiates and the oxys and all that stuff get and they've got inherent problems, so it's not that it's invalid, but if you're suffering from chronic pain, there's not a shit ton of alternatives anymore, right? It's really slim pickings. It's almost like, it's, sounding really crass, it's suck it up, buttercup, because but I mean, that's the main reason people go to clinics is back pain or joint pain. That's a big suck it up, buttercup, don't work. This is, the hell do you do with this?
Well, and that was a story of my life. How do I help this person today with this thing? So in a day, I would get 20 different ailments. So it might be your ankles sorted, it might be your legs, it might be your shoulder. So we do have to look at the science and what is it. So if we have inflammation through arthritis or through trauma, then we look at hormones and prostaglandins in the area causing the pain. Okay, how do we decrease inflammation? Right. I'm a huge proponent of ice bath. Ice bath throughout my life as a therapist has been the most effective thing in the treatment of pain. I don't care what anyone says. I've seen 75,000 patient visits I've seen. And we used ice bath with every trauma from hockey. Actually, one of the players on the Canucks, Jeff Courtnall, I don't care what his name, but Jeff, it was great because we would run an ice bath for that guy every day. So he had an injury. We thought we would try this because he couldn't play.
Right.
We would try an ice bath, which, just getting your limbic system up to getting into ice bath is hard enough. But he said, okay, I'll do it. So the first day, he whipped off his clothes, ran through our training room and jumped in this ice bath right up to his chin. And he screamed for, a minute and then jumped out and got in the shower. And the next day he said, I feel remarkably better. So he said, I want to do it again. So I think we did it every night for the year. I don't think there was a day. And he would at the end, he would jump and he'd stay for 3 to 4 minutes. Then he'd walk by and say, if it wasn't for that, I don't think I could play.
And we'll be right back.
So, Phil, as you know, today's podcast is sponsored by Field Agent. And I don't know if I didn't really want to fool around with this one today. And I think because I want to try to make it quick and I think it's serious. I think if you're listening to our podcast, you're a new brand launching, or you're a broker agent representing that brand, or a distributor, or in the marketing department, or in the sales department, I don't care where you are, is I think a group like Field Agent is something that is very important for you to be thinking of and thinking about using. Do you not agree?
I agree. I think one of the struggles that, whether you're big or small, is, when products launch, you spend so much time on the launching part or prepping for launch that once it launches, there's kind of there's a window of blindness, right? Because you can't see, you don't know what's happening. You might be, you wind up wandering through your local stores or getting anecdotal data from people coming in and out of stores to see, is it on shelf? Did it sell? Is it moving? Did they get the pricing right? Is it merched properly? All of those things are very large blind spots, right? For new launches.
They chew up too much time. By the time you get answers, those too far gone. So the reason I like in Field Agent and why I have no issues having them sponsors to the show is if you look at what their new product, which is 360 Innovation, it's designed so that when your product is just launching and just getting into stores, they're on it. Right. Mm-hmm. They're out there. They're in 400 stores, giving you a really good representation of where your product is within the country, where it is in the planogram. Are the secondary displays up, whether it's a floor stand, an end, a half end, a quarter pallet, I don't care what it is, a sidewinder. Is your retail pricing done? And is done in a timely fashion, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after launching. Not the way it's typically been done in the past, where you're waiting 4 to 6 months, and by that time you've agitated the hell out of your buyer, and it's too late. The product's probably already discontinued, and you don't even know it yet. And if it's not verbalized in the back of the buyer's head, that product's gone. So I wish in a lot of ways, because I know even in the old days, I discontinued products that probably could have been my fault, where it really wasn't out in distribution and I had no way of telling, and I wasn't going to do the work.
But in fairness, that's also part of this is you can only see what you can see as a buyer, right? And then that's what you rely on. And so
I got other things to do too. I'm not there to babysit your brain.
And so Field Agent, 360 Innovation Booster is exactly that, right? Like for brands, it's visibility, it's an extra tool in your toolbox. And then for buyers, it's visibility they never had. So you're going to bring extra value to your buyer. I think the other things that are really cool about this is the early trial and consumer feedback. We spend a lot of time stressing over, look, we tested it before it launched, it launches, and then it just sits there, right. Or it takes a long time for consumers to pick it up. The service that they provide allows for them to get you shoppers to buy the product and give you early trial and consumer feedback. It helps you with their buy and try service, so that like the consumer profile that's supposed to get this is going to get it. They're going to try it, build some awareness, and then you're actually going to get reviews from them as well, which is incredibly important, right? Like that's the strong start you need to kind of make sure that you can keep this thing going.
Where do you find them, Phil?
So if you're interested in this, head to fieldagentcanada.com/360, or you can email Jeff and the team at client@ca.fieldagent.net. We'll put both links in our show notes.
Good luck, guys. Tool worth having.
Definitely.
And it grew into this pattern. So natural pain relievers are there. Are people willing to do it? That's the key. Right. How many people are willing to get in that ice bath or stick their leg in when they have had knee surgery? I had a local coach who's an amazing coach, worked with lots of athletes that I've worked with. He had an Achilles tendon tear, and he phoned me and he said, "What should I do?" And I said, "You know what? Bottom line, the first thing you should do every day is that pool you have in your yard." And it was winter. He goes, "Yeah, it's covered in ice." I said, "Yeah, break the ice and stand in that pool every day for 3 minutes. And it'll be bad." Yeah. Seriously. And when he was done, 6 months later, he said the number one thing that helped him was that advice about the cold. And so then that brings it to T3, creates a cooling sensation. So it affects the nervous system to a point where it kind of confuses you. It's like someone slapping you in the face if you can't get it in that moment. It breaks that pain tension cycle, and it makes you go, "Oh, that feels better." And it gives you time to get back to your activities. So my new tagline is it's fuel for your time machine. It gains back. So if you say, "I just can't work out today, my shoulder's too sore," you put this on, you have this moment where you say, "I think I could work out today. It's feeling a little bit better." And it gets you back that time that you may have lost due to pain. So I'm a huge believer in natural, like sauna for hormetic stress, ice bath for hormetic stress, topicals that aren't harmful for hormetic stress, like all of these things. Yeah.
Yeah. The ice thing, I played football and I was a goaltender. So my knees are like awful. And that's like, and it's always the same advice, right? Like go dunk it, like, oh. Okay. How do I soak just my knees and not anything else? Like
I just gave this to a guy yesterday. You know what and he's doing it. And sorry, it wasn't yesterday. It was New Year's Eve. But he phoned me back yesterday and he said, "I can't believe how much this is helping me." So he has an arthritic knee. His meniscus is just shot. There's nothing you can really do about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But what we can do is decrease the prostaglandins that are in the inflammation that are causing the pain, the discomfort. You get rid of the prostaglandins, you don't have a discomfort. It's not nice in there.
Yeah.
So his wife, I told her what to do. She went and bought a garbage can, $10 garbage can, and he filled it with water up to basically mid-thigh. So he puts one leg in the garbage can, one leg out, and because it's winter, you don't have to cool it down. It's cold enough. And every day he does 3 minutes in there. And if he's smart, he'll do it twice a day if he's having a bad day. And it just decreases his inflammation.
You're in Ontario. Let's put on the deck.
Yeah. It doesn't cost you a penny. Just do it.
Exactly.
Fuck it up, Buttercup.
Exactly. That's it. That's it. This is a sports show right now. Suck it up, Buttercup. Let's go.
I think I'm going to order some P3 cream. Maybe I'll just go that route.
Or try that.
I will send you some. Do it. I want you to do it and then send me a text and tell me how good.
I will. I actually will. I'll do it because
3 minutes.
I need it. I'll 3 minutes. Okay.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt if it's icy.
Yeah.
But if you and work your way up, you don't have to do 3 minutes right away. You start with a minute. But I can guarantee you're gonna feel better.
So a cold bath and then a little bit of the topical, and you're
good to go.
You're good to go. Well, yeah, I mean, you're not going to fix the problem, but you're going to relieve the symptoms, which with most of the stuff, unfortunately, I mean, the problem is I guess rarely
fixed.
It's rarely fixed. I didn't want to say and then take it back. I guess it is rarely fixed.
Right? No, but some of this is about management, right?
It's just managing of the pain.
You know, like me growing up, like didn't know half the things that I only know half of what I know now, right? Like, and I knew half of that then. So you just played sports doing what you did, right? So I played everything that's bad for your knees, like football, hockey. I learned to play hockey late in life, and I realized that I can't skate. So goaltending is the best thing because the puck comes to you. I played volleyball. I played baseball, right? Like everything that's bad for the knees, I played, right? Like save for soccer, maybe, right? So, you know, so now it's just management, right? Now it's just, you know.
And looking forward, you're still a young man, but looking forward, if you think your knees are bad now, so what do you have to do to manage that moving forward? You need to maintain quad strength, hamstring strength.
Yeah.
You need to maintain your squatting ability because you got to squat. No, you don't want someone pulling you off a toilet. You want to get off the toilet. Like that's motivation.
Yeah.
I remember telling all my senior citizens that it's like keep up with your strength in your quads to maintain that joint. It's just a joint. And we can overcome pain, but maintain your strength is the key. If you just sit all day and don't do that for the next 30 years, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So activity is super important. So we aren't going to fix knees that need to be replaced. And even when you replace them, they're not fixed. They're fixed to a certain point, but you're then dealing with soft tissue because you've interrupted the internal environment at the point, you know?
Yeah.
So then we do need to manage. And I think if people just think about how do I manage this on a daily basis, I have a daily routine that I do, and I built a sauna in my back on our farm. We use that 4 to 6 times a week. We have a cold plunge pool next to it, so you go in the sauna, you get in the ice water, you stay for up to 2 minutes, and you get back in the sauna. This hormetic stress causes repair of DNA, repair of protein, repair of all the things that break down due to aging. It's so interesting when you listen to doctors like Dr. Rhonda Patrick talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
She's so amazing about hormetic stresses and natural management of pain. And when you're an ex-athlete like you are, Phil, you're going to deal with it because you had so much fun, but there's a price to pay for the fun.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So let's switch gears. Tell me about this lavender farm.
That's what I was going to go.
So I'm curious because one, maybe it keeps Kenny calm, and then two is it's just interesting. A lavender farm, like what the heck, right?
Well, okay. So the real simple story is we live on a farm, beautiful farm. I built this beautiful big red barn that you know is gorgeous. You can see it on our website, on our Instagram page. And I went to the city and I said, how do I make this my warehouse? I want to do this right, and I don't want to not do this properly. So they said, well, it's easy. Just plant product on your farm that you're going to use in your product. So I said, oh, that's perfect because I want to make a lavender cream, and I want to call it Calm because we love lavender. So I planted, my wife and I planted 1,000 lavender plants, and the byproduct of that is people just want to come and see it because it's beautiful, and they come and take pictures and they buy.
Well, it smells lovely. It's so soothing, and oh my God, it's lovely to look at.
It's all culinary. So now we supply all these restaurants and breweries, at Cafe Medina downtown. Like if you drink a lavender latte, you're drinking my field. Like
that's awesome.
That's amazing. So much
fun. So I think Carmen, my wife, has about 25 or 30 different vendors now that buy our culinary products. Yeah, our lavender. And if you go on to Greendale Lavender Company Instagram, you'll see all our pictures and people that have posted. And we're the only lavender farm that lets dogs come. So all these dog people show up and get their dogs in the lavender. It's hilarious. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Then I distill the lavender oil, which is a huge process. Takes me 4 hours to get about 120 mils of oil, and we use it in all our products. It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, eh?
the lab, you know what I believe, Phil, you just have to do everything you want to do.
Yeah.
You can't not do it. Like, we love, so okay, I get sick of cutting grass sometimes, but it looks like a golf course in the summer, and the lavender is beautiful. So when I'm out there riding one of my mini lawn tractors, I have to keep reminding myself how beautiful it is and how much I love it. But there's a lot of work to it as well.
I bet.
Yeah, no, but I think it's amazing. Like, I think what you built is really cool. It's very, very cool. Man, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I am a little bit of a freak. Like, I can't stop doing things. And maybe they'd call that ADHD. I don't know. But so the lavender is kind of an extension of that. I'll say to my wife, I think we should have a lavender farm. And she's like, you're crazy. But the next thing is we're both doing it, and she loves it now too. I can't stop. I'm a musician. I'm an ex-athlete, but I can't stop competing. Probably like you, Phil. You probably feel that I need to compete. So I play billiards at a pro level. I can't stop. I practice every day. I can't stop. I played professional music for 10 years, and I can't stop these. I need more. Yeah. So what we build is cool. And I think we're just going to keep building things because it's,
I don't think so. I don't think that makes you a freak. I think amongst our podcast audience or our podcast guests, it puts you right in there, because everyone that we talk to. So we've had an unusual day because we've done it back to back. So you're our second podcast recording today, and the fellow before you worked a full-time gig at where did he work? And he worked at the government full time, and then he also he got 2 interviews back to back, one with the government and one with WestJet. He decided
he liked both.
What the hell? I like both. Let's do both.
Yes, he's working in Alberta Healthcare in the morning from 6 till 2, or goes to work out, then goes to WestJet and works till 11.
So he didn't blink an eye. He was like, I'm young. I can pull an 80-hour work week. I'll just do that. And then he went to do a full-time MBA and kept his job at WestJet, and then kept the full-time job at WestJet, a full-time MBA. And then out of the MBA course came a side product that he thought was super interesting. So they built a company out of it.
Wow.
So
fascinating. Like it's built into,
you know what
like,
I mean?
The true entrepreneur, that's what
people.
it is.
Exactly.
You're among your people, because you're like, I run physio clinics. I thought I'd make a product. What the hell? Let's make a farm, right? Like, so you found your people. I think.
I think
what you've done.
You're totally right, and I love talking to those people. We have a group called the HMC here in Chilliwack, and they're all businessmen, and we're all the same. And HMC does stand for Handsome Men's Club, just so you know.
Oh, excellent, excellent. I like it.
As long as you guys believe that, that's all good enough.
That's all that matters.
That's all that counts. As long as you walk out feeling good and you are part of that club, good for you. And I'm sure all the wives are thinking, sure, guys, whatever makes you happy.
Whatever, that's right. Yeah. Just keep drinking your scotch and
exactly. Just keep drinking. Yeah, just go to the well. Enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's next? Like, so P3.
Yeah.
I want to come back for a second, because the retail stuff is really interesting to me. And this is something that, I don't know, weirdly enough, it is really near. I really wasn't kidding. Like, Kenny and I,
we talk about pain management,
external pain management a lot.
Because I think
right?
it's a category that's so underserviced.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
There's really not a lot of options out there that are any good. They're really and truly.
The amount of Google hits for pain relief are massive.
It's going to be, what's the number one reason people go to doctors, right?
Oh yeah, for
I think it's actually the number one reason. I think is lower back pain, to be honest with you, and then it works into the other parts of the body. But chronic pain is the number one reason people see a physician.
That's right.
That's crazy.
And then the number one thing that happens is they're given drugs. They're giving
shit that really is not very good for you.
That's right, which can actually exacerbate the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things with low back chronic pain is they've proven that it's linked to anxiety and depression. So if people are already dealing with that, then they get pain, then they get more anxiety, depression, then they get medication that just feeds this monster.
It just circles it, right?
Circles, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
What? Yeah. So right now you're in 1,000 stores or so. What's kind of what's your thinking? Like, are you looking to kind of take this, over the counter and into kind of mainstream, or are you looking to stay in clinics and things like that?
He's in retail now.
We're in retail now.
Yeah, we're in Save On Foods out here.
Oh, got it.
Every store they expand, and now they're into Manitoba, and so we get into we're on the A list, so we get into every store that they're in, as long as there's a pharmacy. Now that I say that, some of those non-pharmacy save-ons do carry us in their pain aisle, which is
you're probably one of the few that they can carry. That I like, no disrespect. There's some other arnica-based products and things like that out there, but there's a lot of menthol item and menthol smelly stuff.
It's always the same couple active ingredients that provide cooling or warmth, whatever they're trying to pitch, but they're really all the same.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So that's cool. Okay.
So where do you see this though, John? Like, what? I guess I'm gonna lead it because I'm gonna forget where does CBD ever play into this? Are there other natural medicinals that we play with, or
CBD for quite a while now? And I did a big. I sat down and I tried to figure out, do we want to go the CBD route? I went into the new stores and I said, okay, guys, tell me about this. And the people at the store, they don't know a lot about what that CBD cream does. Health Canada hasn't really put restrictions on like they are even with our regular product. They don't know yet anything about it. There are a lot on the market. They're super high priced. Do they do anything?
Who knows?
Is it worth that investment? Actually, good friend of ours, Kenny Linda, has been consulting with me and helping me try to figure out, is this a route we want to go or not? And I think what we want to do right now is we want to just get what we currently have into as many households as we can in Canada. Now we're also selling into the States now. We're on Shopify. We have our Shopify page where we can ship to anywhere in the United States cheaper than we can ship to even Vancouver.
I know.
Right? It's crazy. The goal probably, I would say, is if we get into the hands of 100,000 people in a month in Canada, that would be our goal,
right?
To start. And of course, we're already in a lot of hands, but that consistency,
right?
No more.
So what's the challenge, though, John?
Like really more?
What is the challenge with? Like what are the? Because again, you're going to end up teaching a lot of people who listen too, because everybody's got the same question. So like, what is the challenge with that, or what are the impediments to getting there?
I think right now costing is huge.
Right.
To produce a product, it's very expensive. Therefore, we're pushing that into the end user. Shipping is really crazy.
Out of control.
That's been out of control this year. I can't believe how much it's gone up, honestly. Like I could have sent you a package for $8 2 years ago, and the same package is $14 today.
With a $6 upcharge and fuel surcharge.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame Canada Post. It is what it is. But that's a huge hurdle for us.
Yeah.
I would also say finding out, like, social media is great. How do you reach the right people? Are your influencers do they actually have 100,000 followers? I don't think so. We've had
100,000 followers that matter to you.
Exactly, that actually care about a product. Right. So we've had a few influencers who have put on, this is what I like to use, and here's a giveaway, and we got nothing from it. So we're trying all of these different things. And now I'm looking into all of the responses we get from our current customers. We have a lot of customers, and we try to maintain a human connection. So we're answering every question on Facebook and Instagram. We are also answering the phone every day with a human. And I think that goes back to me wanting to take care of people. we get questions about, oh, my knee is really sore. Would this help my knee? So we're looking at how do we answer that even from a therapeutic standpoint. So we are creating the next platform, which is called P3 Life. Now, what does living a P3 life mean? It just means trying to live a pain-free or less painful life so you can get to the activities you want to do in life. And I have a team that is meeting next Friday, and we're basically developing a bit of a coaching strategy that is going to be a subscription-based coaching thing. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it's a way to help people set some goals, answer some questions. So even if they have lots of money, they can't see their doctor, they don't want to go to a therapist, they can pay us monthly. And I have therapists who work for me that are already saying, yeah, I'd love to go pop on a 10-minute call and help someone answer a question about a shoulder, a knee, a neck.
Right.
But what they could do, and with all our affiliate clinics that we have around Canada, then we can even refer them to a clinic in their area. And if we don't have an affiliate in that area, we'll get one. And we'll keep trying to build our community of helping people through that. So that's kind of the next step, is looking beyond just having a cream on the shelf. It's trying to educate people on how to use this product to help them do what they want to do. That's the key. It's not going to fix you. Nothing's going to fix you. You can lay there and take, Advil,
pharmaceuticals, which is not good for you.
No, and then you just lay there anyway. You're drugged up. So this is a way to get time back in your life, and I think that if we just keep educating people, we're definitely at a tipping point where we have so many people asking for samples. We're doing samples still. A lot of places aren't doing samples as much as they used to.
That's true.
So we're shipping those out for free. So if someone next to you, Phil, says, hey, I want to try it, we'll send them 5 sachets in the mail. So that's an investment in marketing that we're doing that is direct to consumers.
Yeah, trial is important. Trial is important still, especially in a product like this.
Sometimes it's your honesty. I think the honesty of like, you go back to it is it's not fixable per se. It's manageable. Right. And it's trying to understand that. It's sort of where some disease states have ended up. Like diabetes is not necessarily curable, but it is definitively a manageable disease state now, right? Where it would kill you 50 years ago, it's manageable. And I'm assuming, without really knowing much, that many cancers are going to go that way. You may never be cured per se, but it may be a manageable disease state where you can live a long,
and they already are,
productive life, for sure.
Right, we die with it instead from it now. It's definitely moving that way.
Yes.
And diabetes is a great example. So type 2 diabetes, something you get when you're in your 50s, say, and you're a bit overweight and you eat poorly.
Right.
You can reverse that if you have the cojones to do it. If you're willing to stop eating that stuff, get off your butt. If you're willing, they'll show you that you can go from insulin injection to a pill to nothing. Diet can control it. How many people are willing to do it is the question, or do they have support to help them do that?
I think you got a bunch of things, John. You also got, not to pick on pharmaceuticals, because definitively we all live longer because the pharmaceutical industry has done so much over the years. But to a large degree, I mean, you're fueling another industry by having people. I mean, you don't have to do that. You know why? Because the pharmaceuticals will allow you to still be got you into this mess, but tack on years anyway. So people just kind of go back and forth that way, right? Whereas the other end was like cholesterol is a manageable thing. Like I don't think everybody has to end up on a Lipitor or whatever. I think genetically, maybe there's some situations. I'm sure that no matter what you do, it is what it is.
That's right.
And you're going to have to use some sort of meds to manage it. But I think for the most part, I think a lot of what we have is probably manageable by some lifestyle changes and or using products like yours or others, whatever it is, right?
Oh, 100%. Using anything in conjunction with some goal setting, moving.
Yeah, it can't hurt, right?
It can't hurt. No,
that's not can't hurt. It's going to help.
Yeah, and that's the key. Is I did try to make a product that can't hurt you. That was our goal. Is we don't want this to hurt anyone.
Right.
And so you can take heart medication and you can apply this stuff all day long. Whereas if you flip over to a Voltaren, they will say, hey, if you've used it for a week and nothing's happened, don't use it anymore.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah. Where we don't have to say that. We don't have to say stop to anyone. And
right.
One thing that we've noticed, we get a lot of people who have nerve pain, neuropathy, who get from this. And that's where it handles that topical nerve slap in the face. It changes that nerve feeling. So that's been one of the most incredible things. We have some people so we have a gallon jug that we sell to the clinics with a big pump on it. We probably have 200 people who buy a gallon jug for themselves because that's how much they go through, and they can't harm themselves.
That's crazy.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Well,
right?
but again, if it's not going to hurt you and it provides the relief you want and it's safe to use, well, you might as well buy the volume. You're going to go through, because you can actually, at least you can apply this multiple times a day. Where to your point, like a Voltaren or any pills. Like you can't just, it's not a candy. You can't just go into a candy jar. I mean, you got to.
Well, you got to. I mean,
you got to be careful, right? Because you don't know what the hell else
with the my in-laws. My father-in-law has a lot of kind of repetitive strain injuries and things like that. And so every time he touches one of those things, you got to go through like, okay, wait, tell me what you're taking again.
Yeah, what else?
When was the last time you take that? Did you? Oh, if you took an Aleve, you can't use the Voltaren. Did you take an Advil? I'm still not sure you can use the Voltaren. Which one do you want? Which one? Like it's like a 30-minute process before you decide, okay, wait, you're good the way you were before. don't touch it, right? Like it's a lot. Like the fact that you can do this without kind of any repercussion. It's kind of a big deal,
it's a
right?
game changer, right?
Well, years ago, because of what I did for a living was all about decreasing pain. Years ago, we went to a pharmaceutical talk on essentially mixing medications for patients, and because we did ask questions of when people came in, so we knew what they were taking. But what the thing I took from that talk was the stats on how many people in North America die every year, unknown net death due to pharmaceutical mixing. So they're totally healthy, not really, but they might be on a heart medication, and like you said, take something that even their doctor doesn't realize, but their pharmacist may, but the pharmacist isn't really privy to what else they're taking. They give them this thing and then bang, and unfortunately they die. And it was hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. I don't think we talk about it because, again, the industry is so large, and for the greater part, the reason we live 30 years longer than we did 100 years ago is in large part due to these industries. But it's like the old saying is, you can dance, but sooner or later someone has to pay the band.
That's right.
Right. So it's the same idea, right? They're great, but there's a cost to all this shit, right?
Yeah. They just did a fantastic study, a 20-year study in Finland on saunas. We talked about saunas briefly, and the numbers that they have on this scientific study are awesome. People that use a sauna, I think 1 to 3 days a week, have a 33% less chance of dying of cardiovascular disease. And this was from men from 50 to 70 for 20 years, this study, 2,000 men. It's a huge study. And if you use a sauna 4 to 6 times a week, 66% less chance of dying of cardiovascular disease, and living on average 4 years longer than.
Yeah, but I can't patent that, right? So there's nothing. What are you going to do with that?
Well, that's your individual.
Can't put it into a bottle, into a pill.
No, you cannot. No. But you can put it into a lifestyle that uses the things in a bottle, and that's what we're trying to do.
And I think that's the trick, is to find the balance between all of it, and definitely have much more natural play.
Absolutely.
Good for you, man.
John, this is amazing. Thank you for coming on here.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to thank Linda, because Linda's the one who pushed. Goes, you have John on. I said,
Linda.
Well, I'd have John on anytime. I don't need you to tell me what to do, Linda, all the time. Even though she's absolutely right. We
kind of do, actually.
I do. It's true.
We kind of do.
I wanted to sound tougher than I really am. So.
Well, it's been really nice to get to know you too, Phil.
Yeah. No, I'm glad, and hopefully when I'm out, we'll get a chance to say hello.
I will connect with you over the next little bit too, and I will come out to see you. I seriously, we've talked about this for years. It's not a far drive.
When I come out, I'll
absolutely
bring him out and throw him in the lavender field.
We'll do it.
We'll put you in the sauna and the cold plunge. How about that?
I'm okay with that.
All right.
Yeah.
I've gone in the cooties, man. We the hot springs and then you go cold pool and back and forth, right?
It's wonderful.
It's actually kind of nice. It's very refreshing. It's very invigorating. Like you feel alive.
Okay. So before you go, if people want to buy P3 products, where do they go?
So go to our best thing to do is to go to the website. We're now on Amazon, fulfillment by Amazon as well. Go to the website. You'll see that we ship to all across North America, but you can also see where to buy across Canada, and all those stores are listed on the website.
Okay.
We are from Haida Gwaii to PEI. We're right through the whole country.
P3 cream.
So P and then the number three,
right?
And then cream.com.
Okay,
got it. And then if they want to find you, is like LinkedIn the best place to find you? Or
I have a LinkedIn page for sure, and I'm not on it much, but it is alerting me now. I turned that on.
Oh, good.
And also,
or they can phone, because you're going to pick up the phone anyway. So
we're going to pick up the phone, either myself or Mike, and usually Mike these days, because he's out there 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So the other thing is our Instagram, of course. That's an easy way to see our pictures. P3 Cream Instagram, and the Green Lavender Company links to P3 as well.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
John, it's nice talking to you. It's been too long. Should I do this more frequently?
Yeah, I went to your coffee shop without you down in Commercial.
We had to close it, right? So now you can come see. Yeah, we closed it. So you come see me at the grocer now, because close one, open another.
Yeah, I'll see you there instead.
Jeez.
I'll come with Linda.
You know what? When you're in the hood or you're coming into the hood, yes, let Miss.
Wait, you're coming with Linda? I want to be able to meet you and Linda.
Like, you gotta come to Vancouver.
Okay,
not our problem, right?
Okay. Okay, I can figure that one out.
When you come to Vancouver,
that's a me problem.
When you come to Vancouver, we'll go get Linda, and the three of us will drive out to Chilliwack and see John.
Okay.
Hey, don't worry, because Phil's going to send me a message about his knee in the ice water anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I will. Yeah.
All good.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
John, take care of yourself. Thanks very much for coming on. Phil, you stick around. I got to talk to you. Johnny, have a great day.
Take care, guys.
Okay, buddy.
Thanks, John. Take care.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. He's cool.
I love his story. I've heard that story like 14 times.
Do you know, like, story. And it's hard, right? Because like the 93, 94 Canucks are kind of right in the years, that I know for sure.
Yeah.
So there were lots of questions I wanted to ask him about.
Oh, the thing is,
I was trying to keep it like
that's over a beer when we go out to see him.
Yeah. No, so many questions, like
100%.
Like all those guys, Jeff Courtnall, the captain, right? Trevor Linden was there then still.
Yeah,
like
it was everybody. It was that team that were a lot of the names. Like if you say the names today, they still resonate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just like him. John's just a really, really nice guy. And his product's cool.
Curiosities.
Yeah.
Because the 93, 94 team is when you guys lost the Stanley Cup, and then the city went crazy too. No, isn't that the year?
Our city went crazy twice.
Was it? But it was those years, though, right? Yeah. I think it was those years, because that was the team that.
Because we just have no control over ourselves.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, but it's interesting, right? Like, curious his perspective on those things. So
that's honestly
totally not retail, right? But
over a beer, I mean, honestly, the guy's all over it, and really, I mean, it's such a nice man. Fascinating stories.
Yeah,
and I like the product line. I do. I mean,
I really do. Yeah,
more of a plug for P3, but I like it. I think it's a good product. I think since John's a good guy, and I like the fact that it's from his world.
Like I think, and like John, unless he listens to all the other podcasts, he wouldn't appreciate that. But I think anyone who listens to us a lot is probably like, fuck, not again. Those two idiots are all over the topical pain thing, right?
Right.
Like, of all the things that we get obsessed about, right? Is that the one, right?
Exactly.
But it is. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, everybody.